clinic imefunguliwa. Thursday siku ya clinic, relationship clinic. Singles this month ni sisi na wewe. Vuta stool karibu na radio na karibu na TV. If you're on your headphones, increase the volume because we have some interesting things we need to talk about. Kama kawaida, bench tumesanitize, tumeipanguza. No dust this week. We are ready for you. We are looking at the stages of dating. Hii maneno ya dating hii. Does it have stages? Why is it important for us to understand those stages? What should be happening in every stage? That's what we're going to be looking at. Joining us in studio today, we have mental health practitioner Doreen Bai. Doreen, how are you doing? I can't hear you. Are you on mute?
Oh, sorry. Yes. No.
Now I can hear you.
I'm not on mute.
Now I can hear you.
Awesome.
Karibu sana.
Good morning.
How are you?
Asante.
Great. We'll also be joined a bit later by Rachel Mbugua. She will be joining us as we continue with this discussion. So let's get into it, Doreen. Dating. Dating is one of those things that a lot of people have a lot to say about, especially in this generation. Some are saying it's harder to date nowadays. I mean, all sorts of theories. So can we begin by defining dating? Because different people have got different ideas of what dating is. What is dating?
Wow, a good one. And I'll say that dating is a process in which two people take time to know each other and to walk along life. And I must say that when I mean life is in terms of relationship, and dating relationships have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And I must say that dating is not linear, so to say. It doesn't take a linear form, but it's sometimes cyclical in this manner that it can take a circle. And some of the stages, they can take longer than others, and some people also take much longer at each stage.
Okay. A friend of mine likes saying that dating is the process of collecting data, so that you can analyze the data and find out, can I settle down with this person? Yes. So,
awesome. Yeah.
What are these stages of dating? How many stages are there? And then we can begin to look at each stage and what that means.
Okay, we can mention of the 5 stages, and the first one is we have the initial meeting, which I can also talk of attraction stage. And we have some of the things that happens at that stage and what one is supposed to do and some of the challenges which we are going to look at.
Yeah.
We have the stage and a second stage which we talk of a reality stage, which can be either also a stage of doubt and denial or also what we call uncertainty. And we have a third stage of commitment, which I also refer to exclusivity stage. And we also have a stage 4, which is intimacy, and the 5th stage, which we talk of engagement, or where we talk of wholehearted love.
Okay. So let's wheel it and go back to the beginning. This attraction stage. What is this stage all about, and what are some key things we need to recognize about this stage?
This stage, I must say that this is the initial stage, and we know this can take place through internet. You know, now people are so enlightened on the social media.
Yes.
And can also be through friends. I've seen people meeting through friends, and also in a church or even a social group or at a party. Some can also meet at a bar or other different places.
Yeah.
Also in the learning institution. And I must say that in this stage, there is lots of curiosity and interest. And the attraction at this stage is not so deep, because this is where people are involved in the physical attributes.
Yes.
And we find that most of the time, each one is putting the best foot forward. You know, there is no much conflict at this stage, and everyone is trying so hard to impress. And most of the time, I refer to this stage as the honeymoon phase, because there is so much of consuming joy. And this is whereby someone says, wow, finally, I found a perfect match, if there is anything like that. And this stage, one feels that they want to be with each other. They just want to be together.
Okay.
Yeah. I must say that at this stage, we find that emotions are drawn out of what we call a rational part of brain. And this is whereby we have cocktail of hormones excitement.
Oh.
And this is where triggers what we call infatuation, dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, they come into play. And at this time, there is what you call biochemical love potion. Everything is heightened.
That's a lot to take in.
Yes.
That's a lot to take. A lot is happening. But I was just thinking,
Yes.
Doreen, sometimes the handle or the kabump in this stage is that connecting, that approach, that initiating a conversation, getting to know somebody, because sometimes, culturally, and what we have been taught and what many of us believe is the man is supposed to pursue, the man is supposed to make get this thing going. But sometimes the man is slow. Sometimes one person feels the attraction and the other one, I don't feel attracted to you in that way. You're a good friend. So how do we navigate through some of these things that come in this stage?
Well, this stage, I must say, as I mentioned, that the attraction is not so deep. But one of the ways to navigate is where one is able to engage in the outward appearance of also issues to do with interests.
Yeah.
What do you like? There are some who talk of who break the ice by the education. Some will say, like hiking, what are your hobbies? And other things like personality traits, someone, or just to know someone. So most of the time, the attraction is not so deep because there is lots of anxiety. I don't know if I say this is what I'm feeling towards this person, how would they react? So there is lots of, one takes a very slow move at this stage. But I must say most of the time, the entry point is on things like, the outward appearances, like I can comment, wow, I love your hair. Wow, you're looking very smart. That's become an entry point at this stage.
Okay. So at this stage, sometimes there's sometimes a lot of misconceptions. Because I have expressed an interest. Wow, your hair looks nice. Wow, that dress is just Bwana asifiwe, and then the assumption is now we are an item. We are getting married tomorrow.
Oh, quite not.
I've seen people make that assumption that because somebody showed interest in them, then they're making the assumption now we are an item. We haven't discussed anything, but because somebody expressed just how, hey, you look nice, I like your hair, I like your smile, I like your eyes, and you straight jump to, we are just about to go to the altar.
Conclusion.
Yes. What do you have to say about that?
But I must say, yes, and we like interacting. So to someone who knows and have interacted, because I say that we can get to know, we meet at this stage in different places.
Yeah.
Like if we meet in a learning institution, we are students, we are pursuing this and this as form of the interest that we have. It is not for me to make a conclusion that now once you say, and I agree, it is true, some can get to that conclusion, wow, then finally this is it. But I must say that this is a stage that takes that's why I started by saying some people takes longer time, much time at a particular stage.
Okay.
So it will depend on now the view and the perception that an individual has regarding the stage.
Okay. You talked about all these chemical reactions that are happening at this stage.
Yeah.
Things are happening, man, the attraction is building up and all. And I see sometimes people letting the best of those chemicals that are happening internally get the best of them in a negative way. And you find people are attracted, and before the end of the day, they have slept together. I don't know what you have to say about that.
Most likely that happens. And the other thing maybe to mention, when we are talking of dating, I'm sure these are the people who have already agreed. This is the journey that we want to take. So that we can talk of the people who have agreed, so that it will make more sense. And as I said, of course, there are these love potions.
Yeah.
A lot of, cocktail of hormones,
Yes.
and the good hormones we talk about. And most of the time, people can become addicted to each other, and they ignore the incompatibility
Yeah.
and red flags or other issues that may be coming out. And I say most of the time, this is a stage whereby you should allow yourself to receive a feedback. So that I can be able to say the way you people are, so close to each other, getting used to each other, it can lead to this and that.
Yeah.
And so that also to be aware of the heightened emotions.
Yes.
Because when people are so excited and, they are just in love, they are feeling this is it. And once they allow that, they'll get to know to the next stage that we are getting in, that this is just infatuation that is going to settle, that these hormones are going to settle and at the stage of the reality.
Okay.
So people should go slow in making any big decisions. Like they want to engage themselves in intimacy so that they don't regret later, because at this point, people are in their own world. They're in that honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
But everything that is consuming them is the joy of being together.
Okay. Rachel Mbugua has just joined us. Rachel, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm very fine. Karibu sana. Thank you for joining us. Rachel Mbugua is a psychologist. We had begun the conversation. We were looking at the first stage of dating, and we are talking about the attraction stage, and Doreen is telling us mostly it's initiated by physical aspects. You see somebody, you like them, and all that. And my question is, I hear this comment a lot, especially within church circles, where especially the ladies would say something about the men in the church circles, and they say the men in church are boring, the men in church, hawajui kukatiana, hawa tu ni ma John 3:16 throughout, especially where this stage is concerned. I don't know what your thoughts are concerning that. Jamaa ananipeleka kofi na anataka tuongee juu ya Nehemiah. Are we building walls or are we breaking down some walls here? Rachel, what are your thoughts?
First, it takes a lot of courage to actually say, I love you, or, I'm interested, or, you look good.
Yeah.
Majorly because of the fear of rejection.
Oh.
And actually, it has happened.
Okay.
Look at these young men. By the time they were growing, they've tried to hint, whistle, techniques, and what happened? The ladies talk to the hand.
Yes.
The face is too beautiful. Or they were jeered, or a reaction was done. So they're coming from a point of either they have tried and the rejection they received was not that good.
Okay.
So hiding in Christ and John 3:16 seems a safer place. So for them, I understand they're coming from a point of, unless that fear melts out,
Okay.
then the fear of rejection is real.
What are some... Yeah? Keep
Sorry?
going, Rachel. Keep going.
So unless they are very certain, they'll keep dipping the fingers or the stick before they dip the full foot.
Yes.
Just to know, am I accepted? How will be the reaction? And unfortunately, there's no school for training on how to go about it. Ama pasi umeona mahali watu wanafunza kukatiana.
Nafikiria nitaanza hizo classes.
I think we should initiate this,
Yes.
So, and then the levels at which people did what they did in the old days is not what is currently now.
Very true.
So different trends keeping up with the trends is a bit different. So there's also the effect of soap operas or what forms the idea of the ideal approach should a lady be approached at. So imagine the ladies are waiting for that romantic soap opera experience.
Alejandro.
From a traditional African young boy who has not seen the father do that. So the two will clash because this one is expecting, how can you do that? People don't do that in this generation. The other one is, what was I supposed to do?
Okay.
So and that's how they're missing out.
Okay. Doreen, what is the second stage?
The second stage is reality sets in. And then now issues to do with doubts, denial, they are there. And at this time now, hormones are coming down.
Okay.
And there is now deeper connection, you know. And there is, this time people are knowing each other, what I call self-disclosure, which can be either verbal or non-verbal. You're able now to identify these are the issues. These are the flaws, you know, these are the limitations, these are the weaknesses at this stage, at this particular stage.
Okay.
And it is very important at this stage to talk through the feelings, the emotions, you know, what is happening. And one is so quick now to notice, kumbe, this is how this person is. And they don't have now the best face to, you know, to show. They want to be real with each other.
Okay. I like that because I'm just wondering, is this the point, Doreen, Rachel, where the relationship begins to be defined? And how important is it to define the relationship?
Actually, this is where the fight starts.
Oh.
Yes, because what attracted them, it's no longer the thing that is holding them together.
Okay.
It's the differences that now makes them clash. Oh, you don't do what you used to do to me, or nowadays I'm the one who have to follow you up. So, and in these differences, now the pressure starts coming out.
Okay.
So why were you doing that? Were you even serious? Where was this headed? The big questions start coming up. Who are we? Why were you laughing with so and so if we were? So this is where the defining of who we are, what are we up to, and also the foundation at which this relationship was founded on is shaken. Yeah. And I think most of the people dwell in this stage quite long, and I don't know whether you heard people say, if you don't conflict, your relationship is not normal. Yeah. But actually, lack of conflict is normal. But it's because in this stage, they conflict so much until they've normalized it. That if you don't conflict on this, then you're not getting along. Some don't even sort out the differences. They assume it's part and parcel. You just propose, you move to the next thing. Things will solve themselves. Yeah. While this is the defining point when you're able to filter, am I really ready to deal with the flaws of the other person? Or am I really ready to deal with what I can see? Because they're very visible. And at times when the relationship goes on, people will say, I saw red flags. I saw them, but I ignored. Would you say a lot of relationships break up during this stage? This second stage? In fact, they have on and off. They have on and off here. Like, I feel this guy, I know how I feel, or I love this lady, but let's take a break and see how it. Then they come back again, the differences is still the same. Yes. Okay. There's that whole aspect of defining. We'll talk about that shortly, because sometimes I find there's lack of a definition of what this relationship is, and you begin to build this relationship on assumptions. So you met, you've gone through this first stage, you're entering into the second stage, but the relationship has been defined. Yeah, I like you, but doesn't mean that I don't like other people. Me, I'm still searching, you know, and the other person is thinking like, but I thought. Because you had never really sat down to define, okay, you know, back in our days, you had to ask the girl to be your girlfriend. That was the defining moment. When demiangu, period. When that statement came out of your mouth, it meant you were committing to something. But nowadays, I find that statement, that definition, is neither here nor there, so we'll talk about that shortly. It's about 7:30. We are talking about the different stages of dating. Singles, today you're so silent. Ebuni patieni maswali, the hard ones, so that I've got two specialists in the studio. They can sort you out. Free consultation. 20316 SMS line, WhatsApp number 0786316316 as we listen to Mercy Me. The song is called Won't You Be My Love. Ladies, I've got a question here from Kemunto. Rachel, maybe you can take this one. She says, I met a certain guy last month through a church event. We met for coffee a couple of weeks ago, but then he went really silent. He chatted me up a few days ago, then he went silent. Is this a clear sign of lack of interest? Maybe he's a man of few words. Did you threaten the young man? On a lighter note.
Yes.
Rachel.
So what do you make of this, Rachel?
As I told you, dating or asking to date someone is a scary affair, you know. So maybe the young man is taking time to regather himself, then he will come. Nevertheless, I don't want to put your hope up high. It's also at the same side, if they have finished or they have quit, they also don't come back. So leave door open. If he comes back, know they were gathering themselves, you know, they need courage. But also ladies, there's a way we look at them until they have to go borrow some energy so that they can tackle with this issue, or some even go and pray so that they can come and face you. Like when you go on a date and you ask, so what do you want? So where is your future? Where is it?
What is your 5-year plan?
Not even figured out. Yes. You ambush them. So they think I need the whole military to help me gather and be able to approach this. So I'm not sure whether the young man is gathering themselves or himself, or is calling a committee to assist in this project or in this agenda, or they've quit. The fear of, hey, I can't handle this.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where it is, but you need to leave door open in regard to that. But as long as you didn't threaten the young man, or it was not scary, then chill, relax. If he will come back, he will. If he does not, also move on with your life.
You know, Doreen, I think this now brings in the question that I was asking. Yeah? The question that I was asking about defining the relationship, because from this SMS, there are certain expectations that are there. And because these expectations are not being met, then you feel like, okay, so what's the deal with this young man? Yeah, mbona ananyamaza, because you had certain expectations. But then the question is, was this defined? Because maybe we uko huku. You know, people are different. There are those people who enter into a relationship, mi natafuta mke. I am looking for a wife now. I met people who, they say, I met this guy, and the first thing he said to me is, I'm going to marry you. And I'm thinking like, Lord have mercy, where is the exit door? But then there are those who get into it, warm up into it, pole pole, it grows. So at what point do we define this relationship really? Because expectations and unmet expectations sometimes are the things that tear people apart. Doreen.
Wow, I agree with that. And I must start by saying that because we are putting it in the context of dating, these people have agreed we want to start this journey. We want to have this kind of a relationship. If this was pronounced from the word go, I think if someone goes silent, then we'll still go back to our goal. Why are we in this relationship?
Yeah.
And I must say that we need to be patient with each other. And as Rachel alluded to, you know, most of the brothers and also the sisters, we have our past experiences. And maybe this same brother has got some unfinished business, maybe in the past relationship that he was in, and maybe need some time. And so I think there is no need of hurrying each other, but there should be always that open communication that just like if these people are in the second stage where we are talking of the reality setting, we are on this journey, then they can be able to have that kind of an open communication without judging each other harshly. Because the other thing also, we need not to,
I like
to
what
judge each other.
I like what you've said, because I was going to ask, at what point do we say we are dating? Because from this SMS, me, I'm thinking now like a typical guy. You ladies think like typical ladies. Let's have an honest conversation here. I met a certain guy last month through a church event. We met for coffee a couple of weeks ago, but then he went really silent. See, it was just coffee. It's not like we have a relationship yet.
That was just coffee.
Yeah, it's not like we have a relationship yet. Okay, let's go out for coffee. We went out for coffee. We had coffee. Done deal. Yeah. I'm thinking, the girl was nice. Maybe let me take her for coffee again. We go for another coffee. Then now we can begin to discuss, okay, this is the second coffee. We are planning a third one. Where is this going? But for goodness sake, just the first coffee, does it mean anything? Does it mean we are dating, Doreen?
No, not quite. You're just becoming friends. Because the other thing, I think even the dating should stem from a friendship. You know,
Okay.
we can't just start dating without having a history of we've been friends. Yeah. So there is that need of knowing each other. There should be that room.
Okay. So this second stage.
And
this-
the other thing, the sisters should not have high expectation.
Yeah, sometimes you get to a certain age and you have high expectations. Miaka inaenda we. Fanya haraka haraka. If we're doing this thing, let's do it and do it now. Rachel, this second stage, what are the main things that we should focus on in this second stage? Because I'm thinking by the second stage, there's some stability. There's some clear definition. Okay, this is growing into another level. So what are some of the main things we should be concerned about and we should look out for in this second stage, Rachel?
So, Pastor, are we looking at the second stage as the enlightenment, or the one that you're looking at interest and infatuation?
Interest and infatuation, you're on stage number 1. Yeah, tushaonana,
Okay, so we're
tushalaikiana,
looking-
we've gone for our first coffee. Maybe now we're on the third coffee, fourth coffee.
So I think at this point, family coming into place, introducing me to your friends, circle of what you're interested in, what do you like, getting to know this person much more. The trust is now becoming stronger. You're building into each other.
Yeah.
Now you're trusting into each other more. So at this stage, the bonding is becoming better. So I would say the likes are more aligning. Is this what you like? Is there something you feel at this point I'm not interested in, or this is what I would like about it? So looking deeper beyond just the infatuations or the love or attraction, now you're looking more at now the behaviors, habits, character. Who is this person that you're interested in? Yes.
I like what you're saying, because I find that sometimes people get into this second stage and they're still living on cloud 9, mesmerized by the coffees, and you look nice, and that's a beautiful dress. You know, earlier on when we began this conversation, I was saying a friend of mine once told me that the process of dating is the process of collecting data. You know, and I like what you're saying, looking at character, looking at what this person stands for, the values they subscribe to, because that will help you make a decision on whether this is the kind of person I want to settle down with eventually. I don't know what you think about those thoughts, Doreen. Doreen, can you hear us?
Yeah, I agree with what Rachel is saying. And maybe I want to add something, that this is also a stage whereby these two people are able to learn what we call love language, like words of affirmation. There are those who treasure words of affirmation, quality time, and others, they want gifts, others acts of service, and maybe someone else would appreciate physical touch. So also it's a good stage for people to learn what are the love languages that we need to express to each other.
Interesting question
Pastor,
here. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Pastor, I'd like to add something. I think at this point, most of the people are not able to gauge how intimate or how connections are measured in. And I'd like to give them a tip of like 7 different ways of which they can get to weigh their connection.
Okay.
If you're dating and this person, you want to know whether you're connected, emotionally, how are you able to connect? And emotionally, you're looking at, when you're giving stories, when you're sharing, how was your day? How have you been doing? Is this person understanding what you're feeling? Because it's not what you're saying, it's more of how you're feeling.
Yeah.
So emotional connection. 2, physical. And physical, I don't mean intercourse. I just mean, is this person comfortable holding your hand? Is this person feeling uneasy when you're around each other? How comfortable are you as a couple when you're together? Then there is spiritual. And spiritual is where do we agree in our beliefs?
Yes.
Do we agree in what if we were to build a future, will our children be baptized or will they be dedicated? Values in terms to spiritual.
Yeah.
Adversity. If you go through a hard time, if I happen to lose my job, will I be able to get a support? Will you get to understand that actually we can't do the dates that we used to do? And then there is adversity. When you go through that hard time, will this person be there for you?
Okay.
There is finances. What do you do? You know those stories that you're told that, I work on contracts, have this big business in town. Nothing specific, but you can't tell ideally what this person does
Yes.
and what they do with their money. Where do you live? I live with my pals, or I live with my accountability. When it comes to finances. And finances, I don't mean you combine finances. No, it's just transparency that I can actually be able to tell this person works in this place, and this is what they do, and this is what they're doing with their resources or their income that they're having in regard to that. So there are various ways of measuring. Are we connecting emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually, and socially? Are you comfortable me interacting with your friends, or you introducing me to your friends? And finally, intellectually. I don't want to throw a joke and you're wondering, you were late doing spreadsheets. And me, I'm asking you, why were you spreading those bed sheets? Intellectual connection. Just being able to know I don't have to explain a joke. I'm able to connect with what I'm telling you.
Yes.
Intellectual connection.
Yes.
And finally, the sex intimacy. But that is only done at the end when you're now committed.
Yeah.
But if you evaluate the 7 aspects of connection and you're able to tell, I think we connect with this person, then this is at the point you can be able to tell, I'm ready to go to the next stage.
Wow, I love it. I love it. You need to write a book on those 7 points. I think they're just lovely. Doreen, there's an interesting question here. It says, in a scenario where you have been dating and the lady is more willing to settle down, but the guy keeps saying that he still has things he needs to accomplish before that without a set timeline, is it worth being in such a relationship? The lady is ready to settle down. Jamaa bado sijui anataka afanye nini. Yeah, I don't know whether they're still saving to buy a Subaru or to buy a house or whatever. So they have these things they're saying, until they do these things, they're not ready to settle down. But they don't have a definite timeline on when these things are going to be done.
Wow.
So the lady is asking, is it worth being in such a relationship?
Great. I know that can be quite a challenging state to be in, whereby one feels that maybe I'm like this, I'm ready, and I wonder, what are you waiting for? But as I said, these people they need to be patient with each other. And the other thing, I'm sure that when people are relating, they are significant others, or maybe people they look up to.
Yeah.
And so you're not working in isolation. You are not working alone. So there can always be a couple that you can be able to confide in, so that you can be able to get some form of feedback and assistance on how to go about it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't have all the answers that you need, the
Very
two
true.
of you, but there is someone else, an outsider, that can be able to say, hey, this is it, and it can be done that way. So I think there should also be a form of mentorship. People should always include some mentors or people they can look up to support them in the journey, that they are not dying by themselves.
Okay, there's an interesting SMS here, and guys like doing this. Nataka tuwaambie tu ukweli ili iwe funzo kwa watu wengine wenye tabia kama hii. It says, good morning, I've been in a relationship for quite a while. The lady wants us to move to the next phase, that is the engagement stage. But for me, it's like that is not that chic. This is not that chic. Yeah, if there's anything like that. Because I really feel like I shouldn't move to that stage if I am not sure. Also getting pressure from family and from church. And so I'm wondering, if this is not that chic, what are you still doing with her? I don't know what you think, Doreen.
Yeah, I think also people should be a bit considerate, that you don't have to waste time for each other in this way.
Yes.
That you want to attain your interest, or you want to take care of your own ambitions, and forget that you're interacting or relating with another human being somewhere. So I think for me, people need to have an open communication and state clearly as it is, so that now you won't say that, this one want to do this, but I want to remain here. Because the other thing is, some of these things that we look for, we cannot get them at that particular time. At all of them, that you have to have everything that it entails for you to be able to move to the next stage. But nevertheless, there is a lot of patience, understanding that is needed, and also the skills on how to resolve some of these things. The conflict management skills are very essential when it comes to the relationships.
I don't know what you think, Rachel.
I would add something. Love is driven by a given need.
Yeah.
So when you say I love music, there is a given need that music is satisfied, either entertainment or worship. there is a need that is being satisfied.
Yeah.
And I think in this question, the two parties are in two different needs. One either is being pushed by the society expectations, while the other one wants also to achieve a given goal. So as a couple, I'll ask that they seek therapy such that they're able to understand one themselves and get to know what needs is it attracting them towards each other, or what is it that is bringing the difference in here. Because I feel the two needs are conflicting. One wants to settle while the other one wants to take time, either to build themselves or to whichever way it is. But the needs are colliding. They are not heading to the same place. And that's where the frustration is coming from. If only these people would come in for therapy and sit down and get to understand, I, as a lady, my need is either external because of the standards that people are there, or even time. I feel like I'm running late. And the other gentleman gets to understand, I think my need at this particular time is to grow myself so that my future can be stable, or so that I can be able to hold the family. Now, when they are both of them aware of each other, then they will look at, why are we attracted to each other? Did the attraction change? Did our needs change? Is it that we are conflicting because I'm not ready to settle with this lady, or I'm conflicting because this lady is putting pressure? The danger with this, if the lady pursues this, she's in the relationship alone. You pushed me here. You wanted us to get married. Now we are married. Because there's more to it than just saying we dated, now engaged, and now we are married. There's life after marriage. What happens now after meeting the societal demands and pressure?
Very true.
I told you wait for me to settle, and you did not wait. Now we are married. We have no food, or we have no resources. What are you expecting? It just builds up conflict after conflict. I wish they would sit down and find themselves first and get to know the need that is pushing them towards each other. And then they will make a decision, an informed decision, that I'm interested with this person because he's meeting a given need. And do I want this need?
Wow, I like that. I like that. I'm looking at the time and I'm thinking, well, we will not be able to go through all the stages, but it is okay. We will find a way to do that. There's this message, I have to read this one, on the issue we had talked about before. Someone says, Pasi, me, I feel the lady who the guy keeps showing up and then anapotea. Pasi, mi nakuambia, machali wa dunia, those guys wanakuja kukupasu, wanajua kukupasu, until you make it clear to them, you're not interested. Lakini hawa wa kanisa, si kwa ubaya, hao ndio ucheza hiyo game. It's like they want you, ni kama pia hawakutaki, ni kama pia wanaogopa. The matter is not the dating, but just being clear, like, hey, I just want to know you. It's like she's asking, it's not like she's asking umuoe kesho. Basi wacha ni kushow, kuna madem hawapendi kuchezewa. We just want straightness, like, hey, I think you're a good lady and I would like to know you. Dating squeezy, na kuambia si rahisi. Unaweza jipata mnakunywa kofi miezi 6. What do you think? Lucy amefungua roho.
This is very true. This is very, very true. But I think we need to do a lot of mentorship to young men. As senior men, we've failed in terms of holding hand the upcoming or the younger men, just to show them, this is how you go about it. This is just to build courage, because some of them don't even have the strength to actually say what they want. And some of them are enjoying the ride. So it could be that mentorship is not there. It could also be on the other end, the expectation is too high that they decided let them enjoy the ride. But mentorship is very key. Let's hold them hand and show them this is what you do. When you're serious, this is what. Because some of them are trying the waters, while others are seriously in need of. And you see, for the ladies, they close up and say, church men are like this. Where are we throwing the young ladies to? Where?
But you know one thing I've realized, ladies? Jamaa akiamua ataoa. Ataoa. It's really that simple. And that's why for me, I'm big on what are we? Where are we going? What is this relationship? Because if we don't define it, then we leave a lot of room for speculation. One is thinking like this, one is thinking like this. You know, are we headed towards marriage? If you're not headed towards marriage, why are we wasting each other's time? Why get to know you to the stage 2, and even now we want to get into stage 3, and then you say I'm not that person? You know, because me, I honestly believe if a man wants to get married, they will get married. Our time is up. What's your parting shot, Doreen? We need to have a part 2 of this conversation. What's your parting shot, Doreen?
Wow, a parting shot has come quite early, but I must say that relationships take time, and each stage is different to every individual. And the good thing is just to enjoy every stage, enjoy every stage that you find yourself in. And I must say that broken engagements are better than broken marriages. I must say that.
Okay.
So that we shouldn't feel like when you get into a relationship, it must work. I must get to that age. I must get married. We must get together. But once you're able to analyze issues, solve out your problems, and see these are the issues that you feel like you are not at peace in the relationship that you're in, it is okay to call it a quit early enough, so that you can be able to release each other and you don't get to a place like where what we are seeing, the relationships, what is happening, people killing each other and so many things happening. So I want to say that I wish all those who are dating at this moment to enjoy every stage that they are in, and in case they find any challenge, they can always reach out to people out there, their therapists, psychologists, who can be able to help them to navigate through these processes to enjoy their lives.
Awesome.
Thank you, and over.
Thank you so much. Rachel, parting shot?
First, I would like to tell people that are in relationship or they're intending to get into a dating, the process does not start with interest. It starts with self-awareness. If you want to buy a car, the first thing you ask yourself, what is my need? Is it the speed? Is it the size? Is it the courage? Is it the load that they can be able to carry?
Yeah.
Even in the relationship, find yourself and get to ask yourself, what is my need? If my need is to be taken care of, believe you me, if I fall in love, instead of love, I'll be obsessed with that person because I'm looking to be taken care of.
Yeah.
If I'm getting into a relationship because I need partnership, then I bring in commitment. So I will ask that people will first find themselves. And some of these things where they don't know themselves is because of their history. If you are dependent on your parents, if you experience neglect, you will always be looking for someone to take care of you.
Yeah.
Now, if you're looking for someone to take care of you in relationship and they don't find, you end up saying, I love this person, but you're demanding too much. At times, caregivers get to attract needy people. Why? Because they present themselves that they got it all together.
Yeah.
And people that they attract people that want to be taken care of. Just to find out that they are both needy and they start conflicting there. At how comes we attracted each other and we loved each other before, but right now we are conflicting because there are two empty jars that they have nothing to refill each other.
Wow.
So please find out yourself that when you're coming into a relationship, you're not coming to be completed, you're coming to complement each other. Thank you.
Awesome. Ladies, thank you so much for your time this morning. I wish we had more time to dig deeper into this discussion, but I'm sure we will make some time and find time to do a part 2 of this. Thank you for coming, and that's all the time we have for clinic. Clinic imefungwa. We daktari wanaenda kwa clinic ingine. Tuwapatie nafasi waende washughulikie wananchi wengine. Until next week, thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.
For this and more of our shows, log on to www.familymediaonline.com to enjoy a wide variety of programs from current affairs to testimonials and features, pastoral and inspirational shows, kids entertainment, and so much more. Also stream live on www.familymedia.tv.